Well, it's over. Round one has officially completed, and there were some big-time swings from some teams and some big head-scratchers from other teams. But we are going to be looking at, in today's episode of NFL Daily by Chat Sports, the updated big board from Mel Kiper after round one. Now, if you are ready for round two and round three, so I guess I could say day two, kind of combo those together, like today's video. We are so excited to bring you even more draft content here on the channel. Join us later today at 4 p.m. Central Time. So let's recap what happened in the first round of the NFL draft, shall we? Cam Ward, no surprise there. The trade of the entire evening was the Cleveland Browns trading back to 5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who moved up to grab Travis Hunter, followed by a dual card, Will Campbell, Ashton Jeanty, Armin Membu, and Tet McMillan rounding out the top 8. Then we had Calvin Banks going to the Saints at 9, Colston Loveland to the Bears, Michael Williams going to the San Francisco 49ers. The Cowboys went with a guard, which is crazy. Tyler Warren went to the Colts, probably one of the best tight ends in this draft. Jalen Walker to the Falcons, and Walter Nolan rounds out with the Cardinals at 16. Now, we're getting into some crazy territory. Shamar Stewart, my least favorite pick in round one, went to the Bengals. Emeka Egbuka, probably going to be a Chris Godwin supplantant, if I would think so correctly, in the next couple of years. Jahdae Barron went to the Broncos, sort of a best player available pick, followed by Matthew Golden to the Packers. Omarion Hampton actually went to the Bolts there at 22, and Donovan Jackson going to the Vikings. Okay, now at the very end, Jackson Dart. The Giants trade back into the first round to get their quarterback of the future. The Falcons then trade back in to the first round to get James Pierce Jr., Malachi Starks, Tylik Williams, Josh Connerly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon, goes to the Commanders, and Maxwell Harrison goes to the Bills at 30, and then Jahad Campbell and Josh Simmons round out the first round. There are some huge names that have still not been picked yet. I'm just going to throw that out there. So Kiper's big board currently, after all of the players in round one are off of it, looks like this. Now remember, these are not my best players available, nor are these a power ranking. This is from Kiper's original big board that has now been updated. So who are the best players in round two that are still on the board? Shedeur Sanders comes in at 1, Will Johnson at 2, Nick Emmanwori at 3, and then Mike Green at 4. And I cannot believe Mike Green didn't go in round 1 yesterday. There's a lot of character concerns, and that's all I'm really going to say about it. There's some potential legal issues that the NFL, I feel like, is just kind of like, hey, we are staying very, very clear of that. But when it comes to a pure prospect, Mike Green is Khalil Mack 2.0. Get this. They're both 6'3". They're both 251 pounds. They both played at small schools. The only difference, Mike Green, actually faster. So I think he's going to go very early on round 2, and I would like to see him end up as a Chicago Bear, but I'm not going to put that out there. We're just going to see how it plays out. On to our next group of 4. Donovan Ezaraku, edge out of Boston College. Carson Schweisinger, UCLA linebacker, followed by Luther Burden, our first wide receiver in round 2, and then Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami. I really want to highlight one player in particular because I was kind of low on him as the draft kind of started, but now as it picks up for a value pick, I think he's amazing. Donovan Ezaraku. 16.5 sacks in college football is unbelievable. 21 tackles for loss is insane. He also had 80 tackles. So he has shown growth throughout his college career as not only a tackler, but someone that can get after the quarterback. He's a great athlete. He's got great bend, and I think he is going to go probably 1, 2, or 3 in the first few picks of the second round. But that's neither here nor there. On to the next 4. Darius Alexander coming in at number 9, the defensive tackle from Toledo. Mason Taylor, the tight end out of LSU. And then Trey Amos at number 12, who I want to highlight really quickly. There was a lot of people towards especially the end of round 1, especially Buffalo Bills fans, that were looking for a Trey Amos. And I think that's because after, they drafted Maxwell Harrison, who is a better skill position player than Amos, but Amos has got the size that you're looking for. Harrison is very slight, only at 5'11", 183 pounds. So I can understand the skepticism, but when it comes to skill positions, I think Harrison was a better prospect. But that doesn't mean that Trey Amos can't play. So, again, one of those players that I expect to go between picks 33 and 40. We will see. Now, we're going to get into the rest of Kiper's updated big board here in just a second. But I do want to give a major shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets so much faster and easier. I can't tell you how many times that my fiance and I love going out and doing things like comedy events, theater events, and that's where Game Time comes in handy. Did you know the MLB season has started? You probably did, but with all the chaos of the NFL draft, it probably slipped under the rug. Well, Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier, and prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. You could save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy events, and theater events. And they have this little tool called the all-in pricing tool where basically they show you the total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. So here's what you got to do. Head on over to your app store. Super simple. It'll take you like 2 minutes. Click the Game Time app. It's the black box with the white G. And download it. And then use code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS. For $20 off your first purchase. The terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. 13 through 16 on his updated big board looks like this. Jerod Wilson, the offensive lineman out of Georgia. Tyler Shook, who is the quarterback out of Louisville. Ezra Thomas and Travion Henderson. Out of all of these particular players, I think the one that's going to go the earliest is Shook, but Travion Henderson has been garnering a lot of interest from teams like the Chicago Bears, the Cleveland Browns, the Denver Broncos, so I wouldn't be surprised if Henderson makes a little bit of a jump. Now, 17 through 20, I think there's some serious talent right here, and most of it on the defensive side of the ball. Harold Fannin Jr., I'm going to be completely honest with you, tight end out of Bowling Green, has a lot of upside as a player, but Bowling Green tight ends, how many do you know of them that are actually starting in the NFL? The one player I want to highlight specifically out of this group is Xavier Watts. I can't be more high on a player if I tried. He is not only my favorite safety in this draft, but I think he will be the best safety in the NFL in 3 years' time. He's got everything you're looking for. He's got the size, the athletic ability, the burst, the ability to play up in the box and protect the run. He's a ball hawk. 13 interceptions over the last 2 seasons is nothing to shout at, especially playing at a high-leverage school like Notre Dame. So not only is he a willing run defender who's got great ball skills, he doesn't really miss tackles all too often, although it is one of his comps is that when he is, if there is a hole in his game, it's that sometimes he can't finish all the best. But I didn't see it too much at Notre Dame last season. So I think this guy's a first-round talent that has slid to the second round simply because of his position, which is safety. So I love Xavier Watts, and I think he's going to make a great addition to wherever he goes. Keep an eye on the Buffalo Bills for drafting Xavier Watts, by the way. Okay, that was my little tangent over. 21 through 24, another Notre Dame guy on this list, Benjamin Morrison, who had a very nasty hip injury, but he's not the guy that I want to target on this one. It's actually Jalen Knoll, the wide receiver out of Iowa State, who, if you look at these numbers, severely underrated player. I think he's going to end up playing in the slot. I think that he's going to make an excellent addition as a wide receiver 3 to whatever team that he lands on. And I think you could be seeing somewhere between pick 40 and 46 right there, maybe as high as like a 35 as well. I've heard a lot of teams are very, very high on Jalen Knoll. All right, so who's been your favorite pick so far? Let me know. Comment section below. Pencil it in, or your red pen, whichever one you want. I'm going to give you mine here. Boy, there was a lot of them. I think Tyler Warren to the Colts is probably my favorite pick in round 1, simply because it's an area of need, and he was the best tight end on the board. The Chicago Bears, I'm looking at you. Colston Loveland, when Tyler Warren was still on the board? What are you doing? It's insane. 25 through 28, rounding out the next couple of picks here before we get to our final one at 32, which would actually be at the end of round 464, if that makes sense. I want to single out Kyle Williams here. Chris Sims has Kyle Williams as the second-rated wide receiver on his big board. I didn't even think that was close to being true. Now, with that being said, Kyle Williams as a prospect is all right. I don't think he's a round 2 pick. I think he's more of a round 3 guy. Now, there's always teams that, to get a weapon on offense, they'll draft up or, they'll take a reach a little bit. So I think he does go in round 2. But I didn't see anything that was that great from him on tape. Now, the numbers don't do it justice, right? The numbers look fantastic. 14 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 70 receptions. But I feel like there's just something missing from him. I don't know if it's the size. I don't know if it's the speed. It was almost like good at everything, not great at anything. And I just don't think that that's necessarily going to translate to the NFL game. Rounding out the final 4 in Kiper's updated big board. Quinshon Judkins at 29, Jack Betch at 30, Jalen Milroe, and Anthony Belton. Now, I know everybody's thinking, he's going to talk about the quarterback. Not so fast, my friend. Quinshon Judkins, I feel like, is one of the most slept-on running backs in this draft. I feel like he's got that violence that you're looking for in terms of speed, because once he hits his hole, he's gone. Like, he is so lightning quick. He's got that great initial burst that you're looking for as a back. Now, his volume did dip in 2024 because he split with Travion Henderson. And a lot of people are like, well, how are we supposed to know what each one of these prospects brings to the table if they were splitting 50-50 of the time? Well, most running back rooms now in the NFL outside of a Philadelphia Eagles are running back by committee. So I think Quinshon Judkins can make an excellent addition as a running back to day one in the NFL. As an RB1, I think it needs about a year just to let him develop into the speed of the NFL game. But right out of the gate, if you paired him with like Mr. Alper, who's a really strong-bodied back in the NFL right now, Derrick Henry. So if you were behind a Derrick Henry, Quinshon Judkins and Derrick Henry, that is thunder and lightning right there. All right, here's what I want you to do. Subscribe to the channel. We've thrown a shit ton of content at you, and I'm glad you've stuck around for it all. We're going to have even more coming your way. It starts live tonight at 4 p.m. So lock us in. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to try to get to 408,000 subscribers. We had over 1,000 gained last night on our live. Until then, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend. My name is Moose. Be cool.